Yes, it is visible.
My screen is visible. Okay. Good morning to everyone. Today I'm presenting about the Westland, the Westland by T.S. Eliot. Introduction. The T.S. Eliot, the Thomas Stream Eliot was born in the St. Louis, the Missouri on the September 26, 1888. Is the first book of the is the first book of the poem. The prophet and other observation was in the 1970, and he was immediately established him as a leading poet in avant-garde. As a poet, he is a transmitted. He is a affinity of for the English metaphysical poet of the 17th century. His poem, in a many representative the articulated the disillusionment of the younger poets of the World War First generation with the convention, both literary and the social of the Victorian era. T.S. Eliot received the Nobel Prize for Literature in the 1948. He died in London in a January 4, 1965. The Westland, it's an epic poem. A poem made of the college of the images. The Westland image of the symbol take in the city life. T.S. Eliot represents the city life. People living style. Eliot use complex language and also use the mythical technique in the Westland poem. The design in the five parts. The five parts like the barrier of the dead, a game of the chess, the fire sermon, death by water, and what the thunder said. The first part of the poem. The poem is the burial of the dead. The poem speakers talk about how the spring is a horrible time of year, streaming up memories and the bygone days in the unfulfilled desire. Here some of the lines of the first part. That in the line, unknown speaker claims that April is the cruelest month, even though we might usually think of the spring as a time of love. In this section, the title from a line in the Anglican burial service. This recollection from the Avengers, the operatic version in the Tristan, and the isolation of the Arthurian take of the adultery and the lords. And the second part, the game of the chess. This section takes is a title from two plays by the early 17th century playwright Thomas Middleton. In the one of the which was a move in a game of the chess, denotes stage in the seduction. Here some of the line of the second part. This part opened with the description of the woman sitting inside a really expensive room. Eliot vividly painted in the picture of the someone sitting on the bank on the famous Thames River in London. Although Eliot is able to produce the starting the beautiful poetry from the rough speech of the woman in a bar, he nevertheless present there the conversation as a reason for a pessimism. Here, third part, the fire sermon. The title of this the longest section of the poem. This part starts with this line: the river stand to the broken and the last of the leaf, the clutch and the sink into the wet bank and the vine. The crosses the branch land and unheard. The names are the depleted. Here, this section opens with the desolated riverside scene. The rats and the garbage surrounding the speaker, who is fishing in the musing on the king, my brother. The fire sermon, however, includes the Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, but your screen
Ah,
sharing has changed now.
sir. I have some network issue, so that's why, sir.
We are seeing your shared screen, but it is not the screen which you are supposed to share.
Just a minute, sir. Okay, now it's visible, sir.
Yes, it is visible. Yeah.
Um, In the
Um,
fourth,
in the fourth,
the
the
fourth
fourth
part, the
part, the
death
death
by
by
water.
water.
This
This
part
part
is the
is the death
shortest
by
part.
water. Now the fourth part, the part shortest of the section in the poem. This part describes a man, the Pahelbas, the Phoenician who has a date, the apparently by drawing. Here some lines of the fourth part. This line tells us some guy named the Pahelbas. Phoenicians in this one who been the killed by water. He is been the dead for two. He is dead by 2 weeks or a fortnight. The part number and the last part, the what the thunder says. The final section of the poem, opening with taken from the crucifixion of the Christ. The section starts like this line. These lines particular refers to the moment that has come from death and the Christ. But before his rebirth on Easter Sunday, the scene then shifts to the gangs half foot away from Europe, where the thunder rumbles. In this poem, the thunder speaks these three words, Data, Dayadvam, and the Damayata. According to these three words, the fables, the thunder gives sympathize and the controls throughout the speech. Eliot launches into the meditation on each and aspect to the thunder. Here is the sign. Thank you. It's my presentation.